Bridges ya llegó.
Tus puentes de oportunidades.
Bridges ya llegó.
By Martha Reyna Connects.
By Martha Reyna Connects.
This is Bridges by Martha Reyna Connects. Bridges, tus puentes de oportunidades. Before we jump into today's episode, I want to introduce you to Zeynep Yener. Now, if I told you she's a classically trained pianist, a higher education leader, a PhD candidate in art history, and someone who made a documentary from scratch with absolutely no filmmaking experience, and by the way, that documentary plays as a finalist in the Boston Art Festival. So anyway, you probably think that's enough for a lifetime. But wait, she also somehow managed to literally bump into President Obama twice. At this point, I'm convinced it's less of a coincidence and more of a hidden talent. Zeynep has a habit of saying yes before she has everything figured out, and somehow turning those moments into incredible opportunities. If you've ever wondered what happens when curiosity is stronger than fear, you're going to love this conversation. Let's get into it. I hope you enjoy. Welcome to Bridges by Martha Reyna Connects. Today is a very special episode. For the first time, I'm welcoming a guest, not only to my podcast, but also to my home. Sitting across from me, I have someone that I admire since the day we met a little over 2 years ago in London. At the time, I was visiting Northeastern University London while my daughter was studying abroad. I was also exploring ways in which Microsoft and Northeastern could collaborate, and that's where our paths crossed. Zeynep was leading Experiential partnership development, and we met at the beautiful St. Catherine docks at the campus. So welcome, Zeynep. How are you?
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. Throughout our life, we cross bridges. Some are personal, some are professional, some are expected, while others appear when they least expect them. Every bridge connects us to new people. You are my bridge, right? So new opportunities, new ideas, and often a new version of ourselves. Many of those moments begin with one simple thought. And I know people here are like, yeah, Martha's about to say it. So yeah, what did I get myself into? We all have those moments. So we ask that question because we're excited, or because we're nervous, or because we're stepping into something that we've never done before. So when we look back, those are often the moments that shape our lives the most. So Zeynep, let's start here. What did you get yourself into?
When was the last moment? Literally this morning.
Well, there you go.
Every day that I wake up, it's more of what will be the next steps, what will be coming towards me, what am I expecting, what am I not expecting. Basically, in a way, the joy of life, as we're all trying to navigate ourselves in this thing called life. I was actually thinking a little bit while you were talking. I think we live in two different worlds, all of us. We have this external world, and then we have an internal world. The external world we're surrounded by it. We can't control many things. We can't manipulate maybe. We can maybe influence a little bit here and there. But we can just learn to navigate ourselves in the best way possible with the support or on our own. And the internal world is us. And internally, what makes us happy, what allows us to grow, what allows us to become better, what challenges us, the capacity of growth. So what have I got myself into is basically my inner world kind of conflicting or challenged or not able to see the external world, what it will present to me. So I don't know if this is making all sense, but so really, really like your podcast with Bridges, like it's about bridging. So career-wise, and this is probably due to my upbringing, It's about bridging cultures, people, countries, concepts, ideas. For me, there's no limit to. I'm always open-minded. I'm always open to the ideas of what it could be, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. That's fine, but because of that upbringing, you mentioned about experiential partnerships. That's all about uniting or collaborating education with the real world. That was my job, like bringing industry partnership relationships into the education and uniting with different ideas and programs and collaborations, as we both did as well when I was back in London at Northeastern. And then my PhD is similar in the sense that it bridges many concepts, already existing concepts together, to present a new concept of like a melting pot of concepts, to reveal something new today in the terms of destination branding and marketing. So with that said, because it's kind of out of the box in all terms, we are all a little bit out of the box, you and myself. We have to navigate ourselves in the external world and find the right place. That's why I congratulate you on this podcast, having the courage to be able to do this, because I'm still a little nervous. But it's not easy, and it's to pursue something of the unknown, and to have the courage to do that. I admire that, and I think it's great. The same thing with my PhD. I had no idea I still don't know where it's gonna take me. Maybe I will teach. That seems the logical step, but I also like to think a little bit outside the box, like, outside the classroom, what else can I do? So I'm in that state right now. Teaching is something, it's very rewarding. I had the experience a couple of times as guest lecturing, and to see in the faces and the eyes of students, when you're speaking to them, when you're clicking with them, it's very rewarding. I didn't expect that. I felt that when I had the opportunity. So that is something definitely I'm going to look into. So I'm going to stop there.
Wow, that's
because
excellent.
I spoke a little bit too much. So
No. This is what this podcast is all about. Like, we want to learn about you and in those moments of what did I get myself into, and you're doing things maybe with not a clear path, or you're nervous, but you jumped in, and when you're done with that, whatever the outcome is, you're gonna be at a different place and a better place than you were before, right? Before you started. So thank you for sharing that. Now, I think we need to learn a little bit about your story. So if we go back to the beginning, so tell us where you grew up, your family, your childhood, what experiences shape your curiosity and your love of learning?
So I was born and raised here in Boston, and so I lived here. I mean, I went to Northeastern University. I studied there, so I'm a graduate. Very familiar with the Northeastern culture and mentality. I did my co-ops, as we talked earlier, in Paris, in New York, and in Istanbul, within finance, hospitality, telecommunications, all marketing-related areas. And then I moved to New York, and because of my co-op experiences. In co-op, for those who do not know, are short-term kind of placements, 6 months or so of working, real work experiences while you're still a student. So I ended up graduating, instead of 4 years, 5 years with co-op, over a year and a half of co-op experience. So I found a job in New York. I lived in New York for about 5 years. I was navigating, going through a lot of what am I doing? Because I started off in finance, and then I went into more creative industries such as advertising. I worked briefly in a magazine for their marketing department. So I tested out the waters there. What happened was, it was around 2008, and there was the economic crisis that occurred, and it affected all industries and all sectors. And it became an opportunity where you were forced to kind of change for anyone that was working, especially in New York, especially in finance at the time, though I was in advertising. But marketing is the place where the budgeting cuts off when it comes to these.
The first thing, right?
The first thing. So I ended up getting laid off from my job in my advertising. And I thought, just we were talking about earlier about turning something from negative to positive. I said, why don't I try and live in Istanbul, or at least give it a shot? And because of my background, in the sense that my father was the dean of the Graduate School of Engineering at Northeastern as well, we had, outside from the relationship with Northeastern, I had a lot of the academic background and networking and relationships. And in Istanbul, there was a university that said, why don't you come and start a co-op here? Because it didn't exist in Turkey in any other university. And it was a great marketing strategy for that particular university, because then allowed that university to have these relationships with all these companies locally and globally, whereas that didn't really, it was maybe a holding company that had a university, so they had already their business what's the word I'm looking for? Relations or
Correct.
capacity. Whereas this was like a power strategy, I guess, for marketing. Anyway, so I started that there. But the funny thing is, when I moved, I was 27. When I moved there, I was bilingual. I could speak Turkish, but my reading and writing was maybe in elementary school, second grader, third grader. It wasn't at all professional. It was quite weak because I never lived in Turkey, but I was very comfortable speaking. I was bilingual. So at the time they said, you are the head of our international co-op. So you deal internationally, you write and read English, so you're all set. You'll just help also with the team and, grow it locally. So it was a great, wonderful opportunity to locally get involved professionally, learn and grow there, and get exposed to international networks through that process as well, working internationally. In fact, at one point I had was developing, again, an international program for this university, and I found a contact in the White House through my friend who worked at the White House. And I went there on a business work trip to the White House to see if there could be we could do as within this university and the White House activities with students or any programs. And I ran into Obama in the corridor. I literally almost fell on him. And he really lifted me up from my arm, like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. I'm so sorry that I almost fell on you, but it's so great to meet you. And he was very cool. And then he walked off. As he's walking off, by the way, his knee clicks. Why? Because of basketball. He played basketball for years. Apparently he has a very bad knee and it clicks when he walks. But what happened was my friend was so nervous, because she's working there, and her friend is visiting, almost falls over the president. She's like, let's Zeynep, then why don't we go through the back way? Because it looks like you're gonna, not be able to carry yourself. So we went the back way of the court, and then I'm in front of her. Literally, we're walking up I don't know what you call it, secret passages, and then when I open up the door, I literally throw myself outside as I'm walking out. Again, Obama is standing and he's scared. Where is this? Why is this girl always appearing in my face in my home? Please get her out of here.
With the president of the United States.
I'm
so sorry. Okay.
I didn't mean to appear again in your face. Forgive me. Please move on with your daily schedules. I will be leaving your house. And so that was a very interesting experience. I actually wanted to take a photograph, but at that point, we need to get this woman out of this house. No photographs, please. So I don't have proof, but that is an interesting story. But because I worked in this institution globally, it allowed me, to work in these interesting, and I met lots of interesting people. And I was there for about 14 years. Probably after the 10th year, I would have to say I started feeling the itch. What do I do next? What am I supposed to do? It was already 10 years. That's already a pretty long, loyalty. I've shown my loyalty enough for this organization. COVID struck. And I had just decided to start my PhD because I said, I'm probably going to stick around in education, and it'd be nice to have that degree if I can, to be able to have teach or have like upper hand when I come to deal with academicians, and not upper hand, that's not the correct word, but like the same level, should we say. And so I started my PhD, and the PhD, I have a very much passion for art. Like you said, music. My parents enrolled me in the New England Conservatory of Music. I was 6. Obviously had no say. I was 6 years old, so...
You're going.
Okay. Let's see what she does. Let's see if she sticks to it. And that was one of the things that I happened to stick to up until I was 18. So until I entered college, I attended the conservatory. But it was a great opportunity. When I look back now, I gave maybe over 100 recitals. I did around 50 workshops, like performing in front of people. So it gave me that confidence to speak, to present myself. Obviously, I'm not the best. I'm always looking at ways of correcting. Even when you're performing or playing, you're always making errors. So you just know. Maybe others don't notice, but you say, okay, next time I can't do that.
You do know.
Yeah. But it gives you an opportunity to improve yourself. So anyway, back to my PhD. I applied to the University of Plymouth because I happened to be working with them globally when I was professionally working. So they said, apply to our university. It was just long distance. So I got accepted and I started. So COVID struck. I was dealing with international work. I went to our founder at the time because I worked closely with him. And I said, either I'm going to be like left jobless because I can't do my job, or I have to come up with an idea. And he was very entrepreneurial and he was supportive of any ideas. And I said, I want to do a documentary. And he said, do you have any experience? I said, no. Have any knowledge? No. I just have a passion. I just have this idea. I'm either going to sit at home, or maybe I can make use of my time and maybe do a win-win. The university can win, I can win, let's see what happens. He said, okay, let's see what you do. Go write something. So I go home and we're in lockdown. So I'm actually writing a screenplay, or should we say screenwriting, this documentary. And it was it's closely related to my PhD, but introducing various cities and towns within Turkey, but also parallel to their unique form of art. So, for example, one city or town may be known for their glass art and how that formulated, how that came about, and how it's being recognized today. Or this one town makes these very niche jewelry with silver and gold pieces, but today in a TV serial, it appears more and it's selling more, how it's kind of revived today. Or the actually pilot that I was able to create was about textiles and the fabric of jeans and how it developed in Turkey and how it developed in the world. And the cotton actually comes from the land and the region in Turkey that's, dyed with the indigo blue from India, and how it's being then sent to the south of France, Marseille, and it's being transformed into a fabric. And then Levi Strauss discovers the fabric in a place called Serge Denim in France, and he just takes and patents it as denim, which now we call denim. So there's like a whole...
Like jeans, as we know them.
Yeah, blue jeans. And then in this town, it's a town called Galata in Turkey, in Istanbul, where the first factory is there. And it's a Yugoslavian immigrant that, creates this factory, this small shop with blue jeans, etc. So it was about introducing locations through their unique form of art. And I was able to get the sponsor, pitch it to a blue jean, very well-known blue jean company, a Turkish company. It happened to be their 50th anniversary as well, so it collided very well with their scheduling. So we were able to film it. I noticed I'm completely upset with myself, but I was type A. Like we had a director. I went behind the camera and I said, nope, we need to do this again. This wasn't a good shot. And he's like, who are you? And I'm like, this is my baby. Like, I need to make this perfect. And then I had written composed a piano song, a composition. I had a composition from when I was 13. I took that song. I had an arranger, rearrange the song itself, and it became the theme song. And I found the professors to interview, or different people, the mindsets, like a sociology professor, historian, the CEO of the Blue Jean Company, like all these different mindsets to bring together, again, bridging all different.
I was going to say, bridges.
Same concept. So that whoever is watching, it's not just one, like from a one view perspective. There's all these different aspects to it that everyone can maybe gain something from it. It was in English, so the editing, this is funny, the team didn't really know English very well, so I had to help them edit. So I'm there pushing the buttons, like I stop here, stop there. Like it kept me definitely busy.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm not laughing. Like,
I know.
It's just like you go from like, I've never done this to like, I know exactly what to do and this is not perfect.
And I'm saying this because I know, same with you with the podcast. Like, I don't, like you don't know, but you just do it. You go ahead and do it. And then I had put the documentary by chance into the Boston Film Festival to just see how it was going to turn out, and it became like a finalist, and I was like, what I need to change careers now. But what happened was I got this offer from London at the time, and I said that's more secure, and maybe that's an opportunity. I wasn't sure if it was going to be good for me. I still don't know if it's good for me, but I can say this, it's definitely allowed me to meet new people because of being there, like yourself, and create new friendships, establish new relationships, which I wouldn't have been able to do anywhere else. So,
wow, that's amazing. That's impressive. But I mean, throughout, I can see all your. What did I get myself into? And then what did I get myself? But you're doing it afraid. But you're not afraid. But the not knowing is not stopping you.
Why should it?
Exactly.
You learn in the process.
Who cares?
I know.
And if it's with your best intention,
yes.
Why not?
With sincerity, with authenticity.
Exactly.
If you have that passion for it, it's gonna be good no matter what.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter who else thinks of what you do. I mean, it's you.
It's so amazing. So, and I think, even before I started, press record on this little thing, we're talking about authenticity, right?
Yeah.
And just being ourselves. It's like, do you prep a lot for this thing, right? For the podcast, do we need to have everything scripted? No, because it's truly a conversation where you're, willing to share your true self and the stories that you hopefully will inspire somebody else or the listeners and help them create their bridge, right? But I'm with you. So that's why we clicked on the bridges thing. This is a tough question because
Martha
Reyna Connects.
Why didn't you tell me this before we started recording?
No. But it's not. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Okay.
So how have you balanced a demanding career with being a lifelong learner?
Well, naturally, when you're developing a career, you're already learning in the process without even realizing it. It's unconsciously. It's what you do consciously is what adds to it. To be very honest, I grew up in a very competitive setting. I went to a private school. It was competitive to get in. I grew up in the kids I grew up with all went to Ivy League schools. Like, it was all competitive. But I was never the type to compete or compare myself with others. I don't know how I learned that. Maybe some teacher, can't remember, but kind of installed that in me. Like, I always competed just with myself. or with my previous self, my previous Zeynep last year or the year before, like where have I come, and what should I be doing better, or what can I improve, or what could I add to myself? I'm not someone who could just sit around and be lazy. That makes me incredibly uncomfortable. It's great for a day or two, but then no, I get very uncomfortable. I feel I need to be useful. I need to create something, and whether that be through work, like a professional work setting, or it could be something you create on your own as a hobby, or but lifelong learning is about fulfilling yourself, growing yourself in different ways. And sometimes that could be through your child. You know, you're learning through your child, or you're learning through your working environment with your colleagues, your friends, your relationships. Like you just don't, lifelong learning just comes to you without you realizing it, I think. I learned from my father, my mother, my friends. Sometimes they learn from me, and it doesn't have to be necessarily about going and signing up for a class and in a classroom. Like that's yes, that's the official way. But you can learn, and just as long as you're open, you can learn from many ways in different aspects from different people. And like I said, you have this external world that you just learn to navigate, and it's just a matter of navigating. You fall, you get up, or you move forward, you learn, and it's your internal world that needs to, you're going to be insecure, you're going to be less confident, but then you're also going to you got to learn to be proud of yourself. You learn, how to manage yourself, and then once you manage that, you can survive and learn from that external world. There's a saying that my father had. I'm trying to remember it, and he said it in Turkish to me, but I'm trying to remember it in English how to say it. But the external world, like outside, everything is going to change. Like constant is the only change, basically. Einstein, we know that. Einstein said that. But your world is always going to change, but how you react to it, how you adapt to it is what really counts. And at the time, I was like, ugh, what is he talking? Yeah. Like, ugh, again, his wise words. I don't understand. He's too intelligent. But today, now I kind of get it, like you have to learn, because not everything goes your way, or not everything happens the way you want it to be. You can't force a friendship. You can't force a relationship. You have to allow things to grow on its own. You have to learn to adapt to it, no? I'm getting very philosophical.
And I love it.
And I watched Odyssey yesterday, so I'm in that zone.
You're in the
So you have to stop me if I'm...
No, I
told you.
I love it.
I'm a talker. When I get passionate about something,
I think you're on the right track. And this is what we're trying to do here, right?
Yeah.
So between the bridges, right? Building those bridges. And sometimes we're building something, but we don't know we're building that bridge.
Yeah,
it just happened. And I think, for example, in this case, where's the balance? I think it's not about having that worry about the balance. It's like learning is just part of your DNA in a way of the journey. Yeah. And then you take it and you move on, and then you're always like a different version of yourself. I say it like, beta version versus 1.0. And now we're AI. Things are moving faster. And of course, I don't want to bring AI into the mix right now, but how do we leverage that to learn, right? Yeah. We're building bridges every day. And sometimes it's like we get too caught up in understanding how that bridge, where the bridge is exactly going to take us, like what, latitude or whatever, and it could be a little bit off or maybe right there, but don't get caught up. Like just finish the bridge, because you don't know what's also been built. Somebody else is building a bridge from the other side, and it could collide, or not collide, but match with yours.
Yes.
One word that describes the next chapter of your life.
One word?
One word.
Martha Sita, what do I say?
Martha Sita.
What do I say? One word? One word. To be honest, I'm going to say excitement. I'm excited. There's many words I want to say, but you're not allowing me. But if I had to pick one, it would be excitement, because I am excited because it's unknown. Let's see what happens, what could be the worst thing possible? I'm getting my PhD. That will just open up a new chapter. Maybe
Exactly.
I'll just,
You're in a way
Yeah.
closing a chapter and
Yeah.
starting a
Yeah.
new one
Yeah.
and finishing, with high notes
Yeah.
with your PhD. So this is amazing. So Zeynep, thank you for being my very first guest on Bridges.
I hope I bring some luck, hopefully, for a few better guests, more knowledgeable guests.
No, you're amazing, and it is hard to believe that one conversation in London led to this one here at the house, like sitting together and reflecting on the experiences that have shaped us both. So thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for your wisdom, your heart.
having me.
You're so amazing in so many ways.
You too.
And thank you everyone for listening. If today's conversation resonated with you, I hope you continue to join me as we meet remarkable people and explore meaningful ideas and discover the bridges that connect our lives. Until next time, keep building bridges, keep asking questions, and don't be afraid to cross into something new. Even if your first thought is, what did I get myself into? I am Martha Reyna, and this has been Bridges by Martha Reyna Connects. Hasta la vista. Thank
Baby.
you, baby.
Bridges ya llegó.
Tus puentes de oportunidades.
Bridges ya llegó.
By Martha Reyna Connects.
By Martha Reyna Connects.
This is Bridges by Martha Reyna Connects. Bridges, tus puentes de oportunidades.